Welcome back to another Mental Health Mondays with Kate. Thanks for being here. Today we are ending temporarily, at least, the series on religion and mental health. I'm glad that you can be here. Today's topic is breaking free. There is a lot to say on this subject. I will revisit it without a doubt. What I do want to make sure that you know, though, this would be a really good month to subscribe to my newsletter via my website, katejmeyer.com. You'll get a newsletter titled Kaleidoscope. And that newsletter is where you become the first to know about any special events or appearances or things of that nature that are happening. And there's a really cool one happening this Thursday, March 3rd. You're going to want to see it if you like this topic, because we will be discussing breaking free from church shame. So I recommend that you subscribe, because that's the first way that you're going to know what is happening, when it's happening, how you see it. People will find out eventually, but I mean, why not be the first to know, right? So www.katejmeyer.com, click subscribe, give me your email and your name, and you will get that letter right away Tuesday morning. So something to think about. Okay, so breaking free. Here's what I want to say today. We mix together God and religion, and they don't need to be as intertwined as they are. What I want to say about breaking free today is this. We do not need to let what religion dictates about us dictate the relationship and the love and all of that God has for us. Humanity does not get to say to you what God has already said that is permanently true, regardless of what anybody else says. So we are loved. We are valued. We have inherent worth. We have things to contribute to this world. We are as valuable as every other human being on the planet. Your life has worth and value simply because you exist, because God implanted that in you as God's child from the moment of conception, really. Religion doesn't get to take that away. So whatever the thing is that religion is telling you diminishes your worth, diminishes your value, diminishes your ability to contribute, diminishes your ability to help create disciples for Jesus. Whatever the church or religion is telling you is the thing that prevents you from doing that, it's not valid. Let me be clear, because I can hear ya. We are not born perfect. Sin has corrupted this world. We live on this side of the battle. And so while we know the ultimate outcome, while we know that Satan is ultimately defeated right now, Satan has pretty good foothold, I would imagine. We all can agree on that. Is there sin in our life? Yes. Are we perfect? No. Can God still use us? Yes. God can still use us, and God is continuously shaping us and helping us grow and helping us understand who we are. Surround yourself with the people who look to the lessons that Jesus taught, the way that Jesus loved, the way that Jesus lived, as their guide for life, and to help you do the same. So again, if we look at Jesus's life, just Jesus's life, not everything else, just focus there for a second. It's not that Jesus excused everything. Jesus didn't let people do whatever they wanted, right? But he did have grace. And he did say to people these are changes you can make, and I'm going to help you make them. I'm not going to make you create these changes all by yourself. The shame, that is human-made. That is from Satan. The shame is not of God. Not the God that I know. Not the Jesus that I know. That's not where shame comes from. So if you need to break free of that, think not of the words of the people putting that in your head. Think not of the media or the radio programs or whatever you're listening to, whatever is feeding that shame in you, whatever, even if it's you, even if it's your own brain, even if it's your own stuff that's inflicting the shame, surround yourself with Jesus's words. Jesus's words. Not church leaders' words, but Jesus's words. Surround yourself with those. Because the church doesn't get to steal who God created you to be. When the church takes what God created you to be and makes it conditional and makes it conditional, I guess, is really the word that I want. When the church takes that and says, you can only receive these things from God if you do these things, the church has got it wrong. Because if you want to look at Jesus's words, it starts with belief. And from there, it starts with letting God in and letting Jesus in to do the work, to do the things that we need to change. So do we get to stay exactly as we are? No. We always are growing. We always are changing. There's always more that we can learn. But do our flaws, that's where I want to go, but do our flaws make it so that we are inaccessible to God? No. Do our flaws make us that we are somehow less than? No. Our flaws are what are human. And our flaws are what will be erased on the day that Christ returns and we get to be freed from the brokenness of this world. So how do you break free now? Whatever you are being told, however you are being shamed, however you are being diminished, however you are being silenced, hold that up against what Christ teaches. See how it stands. If it doesn't match, if it doesn't stand up against that test, you can wash it away and let it go. Humanity has messed this up. Plain and simple. Why are there so many Christian denominations? Because we can't get it right and we fight about it. We just fight about it. That's what we do. Denominations are born out of division. Denominations are born out of disagreement. My own denomination, the Reformed Church in America, is in this ridiculous process right now where churches are leaving and going off on their own or creating new denominations or whatever they're doing because we can't agree on certain things. Now, in my own denomination, it gets real ugly because a bunch of us can't seem to understand that there aren't limits on love. Like that's not God's MO, right? God just loves. God is love. God extends love. We're called to do the same. Love your neighbor is not some passing thing, some cliche that we just should throw around. And also neighbor means there's no limit to what neighbor means. So anyway, that's a whole nother rant that I could go down, and maybe I will on Thursday. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what Thursday is going to bring. I'm almost as in the dark as are you with that one. So if that intrigues you, subscribe to the website. Breaking free of church shame is recognizing that the shame that the church has inflicted upon you is coming from humanity, not from God. The church, the shame that the church has inflicted upon you is coming from the church, not from God, because God does not inflict shame. Even when God is challenging us, even when God is saying, you need to change this, you need to, I just lost the word. You need to remove this limb. You need to address this sin. Even when God is saying those things, God never does so in a voice of shame. It's always in grace. It's always in mercy. It's always in love. It's always in your life will be more whole if you can release this thing. I don't know why we have to make it more complicated than that, but we do. So my hope for you is that you can find Jesus's words. That if you are feeling shame, guilt, judgment, those are not things that the church gets to inflict upon you. They just aren't. Read the Gospels. Start there. I hope for you that you can find a community of faith that embraces you, flaws and all, and that they, in embracing you, acknowledge their own flaws so that we all can be walking together as we are continuously shaped, continuously changed to eventually become the people we are created to be. We'll get there, little by little, change by change. Take a deep breath. Inhale hope, inhale mercy, inhale grace, inhale true unconditional love. Exhale the shame, exhale the guilt, exhale the less than, exhale the silence and the diminishment, because those are not of God. March is right around the corner, quite literally, tomorrow. And since we will be in the season of Lent, I imagine that, because again, I haven't finalized this yet, but I imagine Mental Health Mondays will be all about that. So I hope you'll continue to check back every Monday. If you don't want to have to remember that, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, search Mental Health Mondays with Kate, and you will find the channel. The whole library is there. This one will be there as well. And then you will get, if you click subscribe, you will be notified. And then you never have to wonder when they're coming. So again, subscribe to the website if you want to be the first in the know of all the things that are happening. Subscribe to the channel if you don't want to have to remember when in the world these things are coming out. I miss Mondays sometimes. And come back next Monday as we'll talk a little bit about Lent and how that has negatively impacted mental health in the past. So I guess we are continuing with religion and mental health, just in a different way. Look at that, on the fly. Oh boy. All right. Have a good week. Take in what is good. Exhale what is bad. Look to Jesus if you are unclear on which is which. Be well, friends.